Sheffield United 3, Chelsea 0. The top 4 race takes another massive turn. Lampard and Chelsea concede 3 goals again. The defense is leaking like a broken fridge. They could, if Leicester and United win their next games in the league, Chelsea could drop out of the top 4. Credit has to go to Sheffield United here. Chris Wilder, excellent performance, wonderful game, brilliant from them. Tammy Abraham, hang your head in shame. Mason Mount, absolutely no way. Christensen, honestly, re-sign John Terry now. He's better. Awful from Chelsea. And now the pressure's on. David, welcome back to the Football Terrace. Destroyed today. How are you feeling right now?
Surprisingly, I'm not upset. Like, I'd expect it to be a lot more angrier. But I said, if I said this was the game that would have decided whether we come third or not.
A lot of fans, Chelsea fans especially, if on Monday it's announced that City's ban is overturned and you have to finish in the top 4, this result is going to feel 10 times. I still think there's this element in a lot of people's minds that top 5 is going to be okay. Last year, though, under Sarri, where everybody was, angry at him as an example, I'm just checking here. You only conceded 39 in the whole season. So you've got worse. Some of this has to be on Lampard because it's the same players as last year.
Of course, it's the system. I say often, apart from today, in most games, Chelsea won't concede many shots. It's just that the shots that they do concede are often so high. Like, they're literally, most of the time, it's like in the middle of the box, on the penalty spot, on the player's strong foot, that Kepa's almost left. Like, he can't do, most goalkeepers wouldn't be able to do anything anyway.
We know you need to bring players in defensively. Are you still confident, though, that you can make the top 4 this season? Norwich next, and then Liverpool, Wolves. What's your head saying right now?
Right now, it's hard. It's hard. After that performance, I'm not sure.
Yeah, okay. Our defensive structure is so poor. We've gone from a team that could defend against some of the best attacks in Europe to not being able to defend against the likes of Aston Villa and Crystal Palace and West Ham. So terrible. Tammy Abraham, I said this as soon as I saw the team sheet. We're not going to win the game with him up front. He can't hold up the ball, link anybody into play. He can't finish. His movement is awful for someone who's been playing first team football now for 3-4 seasons. Mason Mount, just terrible. At the edge of the box in your own half, you shouldn't be playing with the ball like that. You should just clear it out. Christensen, not a good centre-back at all. He's meant to be good on the ball, but even at that, he's average. Rudiger, average. I rate Kurt Zouma, but what can you exactly do when you play in a poor defensive structure? It's a possibility. Norwich are really good. They've got a good attacking structure. They just leak a lot of goals. Norwich could actually beat us. And if we lose, we don't get top 4. I don't. That puts a lot of pressure on Frank for next season. Because yes, he's a young manager. Next season will be his 3rd year, but he would have spent a lot of money. And when you're in the biggest, managing one of the biggest clubs, and there's so many fine margins, if you don't get it right, doesn't matter what experience you have, you will get sacked.
CFC Aqua, disappointing for yourselves today. Give me your instant reaction to this.
That was our worst performance this season by far. Even like the 4-0 loss to you at the start of the season, you saw glimpses of where we could have scored goals. In that game, there was nothing throughout the whole 90 minutes. I don't think I could give a single player a higher rating than a 6. The only player that was half decent was Pulisic, and he got taken off for Giroud. I'd have brought on to Giroud for Tammy. Tammy was useless throughout the whole game. The thing is with Tammy is his hold-up play was non-existent in that game. He had no sort of... It was just nothing. It was a very depressing game. Defence was appalling. Christensen, in 2 of those goals, were at fault. Kepa was decent, but it's just that performance all around was It was just shit. If I'm right to say,
Mate, no, you are, and that's it. It was just. What I get, do you know what I get annoyed about? The kind of fans I get annoyed with. Everyone's entitled to a rant every now and then. I don't like people that are negative about everything. Even when I didn't want Ollie anymore, you would still see me praise him for the good things. I also hate those fans, and hate might be a really strong word, but I dislike those fans who are just continually negative and won't call out the poor performances. It's always you get what they've started to do a lot now. These kind of fake. These fans that fake their happiness is they try and talk about football all the time in exceedingly granular detail, like they are tactical experts. They're not. They're YouTubers and Twitter bots. And they go, oh no, but if we just had a player that was 3.5 centimeters to the left and we had somebody that was covering the half spaces on the overlap and underlap, it would actually mitigate a lot of these problems. And you sit there going, what shit are you chatting, bruv?
Yeah.
Your player can't hold on to the goddamn ball. Just call it out as it is. Mason not good enough. Barkley not good enough. Rudiger, Christensen, Zuma.
Jorginho.
These players are not good enough. And on top of that, Lampard, like Ollie, and Lampard's harder for him because he's even more at the early stages. He's a fledgling manager. He will make mistakes. Criticizing poor managerial mistakes doesn't mean you're not a Chelsea fan. There's just so much it's a little bit Liverpool-like. It's a bit like all we're gonna do is say positive things all day, every day, blow smoke up our own asses, and then act surprised when we get slapped by Sheffield United. I find it crazy. Well, what's your reaction to that game?
I'm gonna keep it real. Tammy and Mount, like you said, are squad players. They're not starters, but we all know this already. I don't think any Chelsea fans would be surprised about today. If you're a real Chelsea fan, you would not be surprised with us 3-0. Our defense has been crap all season. Nothing's changed. We've been leaking goals, winning games by conceding 2 and having to score 3. It's just consistent nature of our performances. That's why we need to get defenders. It's simple. If we don't get defenders, we won't get anywhere. And I really want Havertz because we need a cam to unlock the attack even more. So that's just real. I'm not even angry. I'm just more disappointed that we couldn't even conjure up even a 1-0 defeat. Why 3, man?
Did you have a little thing?
No. I generally still think they'll do it. If you look at the remaining games, I feel like obviously they'll beat Norwich. I genuinely think they'll beat Liverpool, because in the big games, Chelsea do actually turn up and play really well. And then what's your last game? Wolves. Difficult challenge again, but I feel like that one might be a draw. You might lose. You might that one's really just in the balance. So I still think Chelsea will do it. It just means United just gonna creep up on top of you and top of third, isn't it? And that's all I'm saying.
On that, though, so taking away from the Premier League, in 8 days' time, FA Cup semi-final. Again, United have got 2 games this week, so there's an element of we could be more tired than you, but there's also the element of if we keep this winning run going and playing this well, confidence. How much better do you need to be than today? If you play like this against Man United, in your eyes as Chelsea fans, have you got any hope of going through?
We won't play like this against United.
No, I feel like if we played like this against United, we'd have done better, because you're not as defense. I don't feel like as a unit you're as solid as Sheffield United.
Bruv, there's an element of that that's true, but if we can nullify, I look at it this way: if you make any kind of defensive mistakes like that against us, you also get an absolute. I mean, you got to imagine this is how bad it was. McGoldrick hadn't scored in the Premier League today, and he got a brace.
Oh, we love giving out free goals. We love giving them out. We love Benteke hadn't scored at Selhurst Park last week since the summer of 2018 when World Cup was on. So we love giving out free goals.
As Casey mentioned, though, we turn up in the big games, so I don't think we'll play as bad.
Yeah,
I think
it'll be tight. I think it'll definitely be very tight.
I'm not getting ahead of myself in front of any game, but it's another thing that just adds to the subplot. Does that make sense? Of the league. And what I would say is, though, Chelsea and Man United, historically the 2 biggest clubs in Premier League history, if it wasn't for us, the end of this Premier League season would be dead. At least we're giving some excitement to fans. It's all about
Chelsea,
us.
we're here for entertainment.
I will say, Chelsea, I need you to beat Liverpool, and it's a big reason as to why. Because if they lose one more game, they can't make 100 points. And then there's 2 elements. One, there's the Football Terrace greatest team. That's 20 bonus points they don't get, which is amazing, right, in terms of catching the top teams. Secondly, and I know Liverpool fans get annoyed by this, but I love it. They've gone in 3 months of football, not in actual time. They've gone from invincible treble to invincible double to invincible Premier League to Centurions. And now they're still champions, but they set the bar so high for their season. There's almost an element of disappointment in winning the league. We had Liverpool fans phone and I'm so angry with how we're playing. Imagine that. I need you boys to just end it, and it's just a Premier League. All you did this season, Liverpool, was win a Premier League. Nothing additional. No trebles, no invincibles, no Centurions. Just a bog standard Premier League.